This burning sensation grows ceaselessly until it transforms into my own skin, my very flesh. I'm incandescent. My lungs, throat, and nostrils open up. I close my eyes. I am a witch burning at the stake. Or this is what they believe. I don't know who I am, like others do. I don't need a name, as no one has ever been around to call it. I oppose any purpose, existing in the absolute now. But I remember a story. The corrupted past prevents a present wound to heal. First, there is a nunnery. That's where I come to be. They take me in, the secretive black habits in a clamour of whispers. Years dissolve in an endless prayer of empty formulas and incomprehensible apologies. I can't understand what we are punishing ourselves for. The first sign, I guess. It's the eyes. They reach beyond. When it's darker, I can't tell who, what she is anymore. She hid in the church in the middle of the night, and when I found her, all the candles were suddenly blown out. The driest summer in years, they say. Yet, all of them, poof. Would you believe it? They aren't mistaken. Other lonely children come to be by the convent, all raised within the never-ending reminder of their insurmountable and almost dangerous natural difference. Boys here, girls there. Boys this, girls that. Boys can, girls can't. I seem to belong to the latter category, although I can't understand why. Certain bits of us, our bodies of course, but those wouldn't be everything. I ponder to myself. It's hard at times. I forget which side I'm meant to be on and disappear, overtaken by sadness and confusion. None of it makes much sense, and I dangle around the fields lost. I don't wish to choose. I can't. One winter night, the children are sent to their chambers through velvety, moon-kissed corridors, and I follow to the wrong room. None of the other boys really notice nor mind my presence, but the tunics do. The moment the sun reminds them of my apparent femininity once again. The final drop. They run to the priest tending the local church who knows about me and my nature, or better still, lack thereof, and despises it. He is tall and slim, another black shadow, but sharper and more haunting than the fragile humanness of the women. His faith is solemn and bombastic, ultimately that of a liar who hides the scarlet secrets between him and the Mother Superior behind the curtain of the confessional. I always sense his corrupted core. That day, he rushes to the nunnery in a chaos of echoing steps and hectic voices. My tearful eyes fail to stand his presence. Before I can realize whatever is happening around me, he seizes my shoulder and throws me into the dust. banging the door closed behind him. I live in nature now, on top of trees or in a cave, where my peculiarities find the freedom they lacked to manifest themselves. I tend a garden, my treasure, growing herbs rich in properties which protect and help me to explore my otherworldly nature. I devote myself to silence and exclusively interact with the variety of animals surrounding me. I adventure around the woods, all the way to the edge of a village, where women wash their garments by a stream, while shouting at kids who run too close to the riverbank. "Watch out! The dragon will catch you! Men and children, be careful! Men and children are who it loves! Be careful! Tarantasio comes from the flames of hell!" None of them ever seem to notice me. Some younger girls think they can feel a movement or see a sparkle observing them in the darkness every now and again. But no one questions their uneasy sensations any further. This allows me to live undisturbed, harmoniously. One gloomy morning, a cuttingly frozen wind wakes me up, insinuating into my bones. Something happens. As if in a trance, I walk and walk and walk, and finally step beyond the woods into the village. My almost unconscious march carries on, leading me to a little church. I observe it, puzzled at first. Then I understand. A black shadow, a blade of darkness. The priest who threw me into the dust is here, now. I study him, as he has a walk in the cloister, where a young boy, another lonely one probably, receives orders from him. Suddenly, the boy looks up and sees me. His eyes pinned in mine. I gasp, but don't run, and look back instead. His gaze of innocence and desperation screams at me. His mute cry, however, doesn't last long, as the priest smacks his back with a walking cane. Outraged at the boy's shortfall in attention, startled, I disappear. Time passes while I inexplicably keep sneaking back to the church to get a glimpse of the lonely one. I am attracted by him without knowing why. Then one day, at the break of dawn, he sees me hiding behind a bush and speaks to me. "Are you one of them, without God?" His words paralyze me. "What do you mean?" I reply softly. "You must be a godless one. What does God mean to you?" He stares at me. "This," he mumbles, pointing at the church. "Such God is no God of mine. My God is different, hidden in the oneness of all, the invisible and secret balance between rock and branch and star and star and star. I am churchless, though not godless." The boy's eyes widen. "What do you think you're doing, devil? Away! Away, I say!" The priest bursts into the yard, flying his fists in the air. "With me now," he barks at the lonely one, dragging him inside. That very night, the color of red wakes me up. My garden is on fire. It's him. I only managed to fully extinguish the fire in the early hours of the morning, where I brokenly realized nothing has survived, not even my heart. I close my eyes and begin to breathe deeply, pacing my breast. The wind rises higher and higher, and I follow it, become it, above the trees and down the lilac horizon. I sneak into the priest's chambers, find his mean, asleep body, and hiss, and hiss, and hiss. I am your God. He wakes up, the devil immobilized in his eyes. I carry on sibilating words of horror into his mind. As he screams and cries and begs, I am your God, and you shall beware. I find myself, my physical form again, lying by the cloister, and as I open my eyes, I distinguish the boy reaching out for me, holding something in his hand from behind the gate. It's herbs. From the kitchen. For you, he whispers. I blankly stare at his hand, accept his gift, and gently nod and run away. As I vanish around a corner, though, I sense him. Turning around, I observe the priest slapping the lonely one. Another one of your tricks, and I'll drown you in the river myself. The dragon will do the rest. Then, after a tense silence, the priest raises a hand and lays it on the boy's cheek, shoulder, back, clutching his shaky body. The lonely one cries. Suddenly, I know. Rushing back into the wood, my thoughts are loud and mostly incomprehensible, but my heart speaks clearly, as if responding to my hectic stream of emotions. A wounded lamb appears in my way. I stop and caress the animal. Let go, it mutters. A man from the village did this to me. Why? Not for sustenance, not for defense, but for fun. Let go. The lamb closes its eyes as mine are filled with tears. That evening, the priest walks up to his chambers and lies in bed and is surprised by the bloody carcass of a snow-white lamb lying next to him. He jumps away, shrieking in disgust and fear, when he catches my eyes witnessing the scene from outside the window, grinning. He runs outside toward the center of the village, banging on every door, waking all the men up and ordering them to find the witch. A stake is built. I let the crowd catch me and place me on top of it. I am a witch burning on top of the stake. For an instant, all that seems left of me is fire, but then I start to cool, strengthen, and forget. My body of scales consumes the ropes tying me up, and my back arches to leave room for mighty wings. I soar high above the stake and the village, and then the fire suddenly spreads towards the crowd, engulfing it. Nothing is left of those men. That priest. My new nature calls me, so I fly and fly and fly until I dive into the river. Forever a woman's words. It's Tarantasio, the dragon who haunts the river.